Good morning. I am out a little earlier than normal, so I probably won't have anybody joining us, and that's okay. I've got a busy day with appointments starting early, so I had to shift up my schedule a little. But man, it is beautiful. The sun hasn't risen yet, but you can see the effects of it over there. It's going to be amazing. So today I want to talk about the concept of synergy. And the verse that inspired this was from Proverbs chapter 16 and verse 3. And I think this is one that a lot of people have heard before. Whether you're a Christian or not, I know I had kind of heard it. It's one of those often repeated ones. Commit your ways or your plans to the Lord, and you will be established, or you will have success, depending on which version you're reading. It says that's the gist of it. And I really thought about this, and I think a lot of people misunderstand it. They're like, oh, I can just decide what I want, and then I will commit it to the Lord, and poof, like God is like a genie in a bottle. And I don't think that's the way it works. I think it's a synergy that happens, which is a working together. Like when you commit, and there's a lot of different analogies that came to mind, and I'm going to use a couple. When things work together and you make that commitment, there's also a surrendering that happens. Like you kind of give up a little bit of your plans in order to make it work. And I don't necessarily like to use the word compromise. Maybe that occurs sometimes, but really it should be a win-win for everybody. And when things just kind of happen and work together, there is this synergy that happens. And all parties are satisfied and feeling like they're getting a great end of the deal. And nobody's having to make sacrifice. And I think even when we use that word surrender, some people misunderstand that to mean sacrifice. But a willing surrender is, and I've talked about this before, I use the phrase going all in with things. Like, okay, I try to do it my way. I try to have my plans and do what the people over here are telling me to do. If I want this thing, if I want my plans to succeed, they're telling me they're the experts, and I resist that, and I kind of do some of what they say, but then I think I know better. That's not synergy. When you have synergy with somebody, you sync up. It is to work together. The root word is son, which means together, and ergos, which means work. And that, when everybody's aligned and on the same page, things happen in a good way. And that is what the Bible is telling us here. Now, I definitely, as a believer, kind of filter everything through that. That's a decision that I've made. But that doesn't mean I don't look at a lot of other traditions, wisdom, schools of thought, philosophy, all of that. And this is something that is kind of common. You'll find this in a lot of other traditions and philosophies. This idea of synergy or surrender. One of my favorites in the last couple of years has been an author and teacher named Michael Singer. He's even written a book called The Surrender Project. And he'll use the word term God as well, or life. Like when you surrender or you work with life, things just happen. Rather than resisting and trying to have too much of your own plans and being stubborn, that's not synergy. So that's how I read this, and I found it really encouraging, because when you really take the time to go in prayer, meditation, silence, whatever you do, or maybe are thinking about doing, there's something that happens in your mind. When you get quiet, you can hear other things. Not necessarily audible, but it's more of a sensing and a knowing. Your whole body gets tuned in. And then when opportunities happen out in your world, or your radar's up, your synergy radar is up, you're like, oh, you can kind of see how things are happening and working together. But you do need to take the time to tune in. Like a company that works together and wants synergy, they've got to have meetings. They have meetings of the minds. They have processes. They have things that encourage and facilitate synergy. You're not going to have synergy with people just out, not connected, doing their own thing. So it needs to be intentional. It needs to, a lot of things need to happen in order to facilitate synergy. So one of the analogies that came to my mind is with technology, like this very device I'm holding in my hand. Our devices in this day and age, in 2022, they talk to each other. They sync up. There's, everything's in the cloud. And we expect our devices, at least I do, if I pick up my phone or my tablet or my computer, I expect to see my photos there, my documents, my emails, my text messages. They all need to be syncing up and having synergy with each other. And when they don't, it's not working. It's like, what's happening here? Marriage is another example that came to mind. You don't just marry your partner and then just say, okay, I've got my plans, you've got your plans, let's see how we can make this work. No, it's an agreement. It's a synergistic agreement that you're going to work together, and that my plans are going to become our plans, or we're going to talk about it and see if we can find synergy if the two plans are different. And that's how you make a marriage work in the long term. Of course, a lot of people don't approach it that way, and hence we have a climbing divorce rate. But this is because people have a misunderstanding. We're like, oh, nope, it's my way or the highway. And there's lots of different reasons for that. But people that have an understanding, they make a commitment to their partner. This is part of the commitment. I give up having everything my way all the time, and I commit to becoming a we, and my plans will succeed because my plans are also going to line up with your plans. We're going to work together. We're going to have synergy. So that is a word that I have never used a lot. I've been introduced to it by a good friend of mine and a fellow coach who really likes to use that a lot, and I have appreciated it. So, and that's what really came to mind with God, because when you synergize and commit to God, and even though you might even have a very firm idea of what your plans are, going to Him or going to the universe, life, whatever, word works for you, might alter those plans, might align, they might synergize, they might shift a little, you might get enlightenment. If you're open, if you really are open and you're surrendered and you're looking for synergy, then you will succeed. Like, there's no other choice, because you're in agreement with, you're in alignment with, you're open to your plans being adjusted, delayed, because you're going to be constantly in communication and in synergy with the master planner, the boss, and going, okay, I thought I wanted this, but I can see the wisdom and what is happening here. And then you end up going, thank God my plans didn't succeed, and that I was open to my plans changing and still succeeding. Are you following me? So it's a synergistic relationship that we have. God has given us a co-mission. It's not a lone mission from him. Like, he has chosen, or the universe, life, whatever word works for you where you are, has chosen to work with us. Not independently, not for us to be independent, but when you're not tuned in and you're not aligned and you're not seeking this synergy, it's easy to get confused, because we do have individual physical bodies, and we start acting autonomously and thinking that it's all up to us and it's only my life and why should it matter? And then we not only get ourselves into trouble, but we take a lot of people down with us. So that is what I have to say this morning. Look at this beautiful sunrise. I haven't even taken my pictures yet, so I'm going to do that, hop off here in the next few minutes, and I would love to hear your feedback. Share these videos, like I'm just doing them, and if they help anybody else, like, hey, we might as well synergize. You know, that's one reason why I put the words rise and shine together in these daily things, because I don't want to do this on my own. I mean, I am, and I will, and I'm doing it with God, and if it doesn't resonate with anybody, that's okay too. But I'm all about, like, let's lift each other up. Let's share our wisdom. Let's not keep it to ourselves. Let's not think that what we have to say or think isn't valuable. We're human, and if you're thinking it and feeling it, there's another human that is too. You are not alone. Oh, okay, before I go, for those of you on video, I'm going to turn this around. Oh, she is coming, just starting to come up over the horizon. Look at those beautiful colors. I went to the nail salon yesterday and picked some colors that were from the sunrise. I've got different color on my toes too. That's the brighter. Oh, here. I'll let you guys see. Woo. See if we can see it together. Oh, there she is. Isn't that beautiful? And I love the way the shadows of the palm trees are and other nature is being reflected on the water. Oh, so beautiful, so beautiful. I know I want to share it with you. So anyway, go try to have some synergy with people today, with God. Surrender, open yourself up to it, and just see if you can tune in. And if you tune in on a regular basis, that radar and that signal gets stronger and stronger, and you get more aligned. And guess what comes with that? Joy, wisdom, all the things. Like everything that you've been searching for out there is in here when you synergize and get in alignment. All right, bye. Happy sunrise. Go rise and shine.